Hey everyone, and welcome to the next episode. In last week's episode, a massive amount of stuff happening. Engine coming out, boat being painted, things like that. But I'm hoping this episode will tie all that together and we'll see the boat back in the water. So the first job, get the engine up, get it back into the boat and get sailing. We've also got a new toy, so Niamh got me a drone for my birthday. So hopefully in the next few episodes there'll be like new perspectives on things and flashy drone shots and all that good stuff. I also want to show you guys more about where I live and the surrounding area because it's pretty nice. And when we're actually sailing, I can show you more detailed shots of where we're sailing to and stuff. So it's a really cool addition to the whole thing. So without further shite talking, let's get the engine back in. So this big lump is obviously the engine, and I kind of gave you a sneak preview of the colour of it last week, or whenever the last video was out, as to what it would be. And it's white. Guess that wasn't too hard to guess. The reason I painted it white is so you could see any leaks or any issues with the engine quite easily, and there'd be a nice bright light in the engine room as well. So yeah, painted it white, and it's looking pretty good. I mean, it's not a professional job, but while the engine was out of the boat, I may as well just do it. Now the last big job that I need to do to this engine before it can go back into the engine room is to change the output shaft on the gearbox, the seal on the output shaft of the gearbox. I was noticing there was quite a build-up of gearbox oil in the bottom of the bilge last season, so it looks like it's coming from the output shaft seal. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that and I'll show you what I'm doing. So in here, this is the output flange on the gearbox. And there's a seal here. It's very hard to see now. You can't. It's kind of in between the shaft. That's the face of it. And these 4 bolts hold on the place. So I need to take off the nut off the output shaft flange, pull the flange off, and then this whole assembly should be able to just slide off, no problem. I'm probably going to have to drain the gearbox somehow as well. Whether I get a pump or something just to suck it all out, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to crack on, get this open, and yeah, see how I go. As you can see, the paint on the engine is okay. It's good. I mean, I left the old filters on it so that I can change those after, and I'm changing out these fuel hoses and things like that. So anything I just sprayed in place, but like the likes of caps and hoses I took off. But anything I'm going to replace, I just left it on. But yeah, I think the camera's picking it up okay. I mean, look, this is an old loom as well that I threw on just to get us through last season. So I need to rewire the engine as well. But yeah. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. So I put the engine in gear, or the gearbox in gear, and I'm hoping that that'll be enough to hold the engine, or hold the nut while I'm undoing it. So I'm just going to slowly shock it. Okay, it gave a little there, but the engine is actually turning, so I'm just going to shock it. Okay, it looks like the engine's just turning over, so I'm going to need an ugga-dugga to get it off. And I don't have one, so I'm going to have to park this for a couple of days until I can get one. You might remember in February of 2019, so last February, we had a little bit of a mishap where the boat started sinking. And it turned out there were 2 drain holes here that were full of paint, and we were just lucky that we didn't lose the boat. So at the time I put some bolts in between tides because I didn't want to go welding and painting before the boat got wet again. So today I'm actually going to weld these up properly, and finally that job will be done. So I've removed the bolt and now I'm going to weld the hole. So I'm going to use some low hydrogen rods, and I'm going to weld from the top and then weld the bottom. We'll cap the bottom then. The reason I'm welding from the top is I can get the weld to fall into the hole easier with gravity, and I can go and tidy it up from the other side. It doesn't really matter how it looks as long as it's sealed. So let's get to work. So the engine is back in, obviously, and even me talking in this room now is better with all the new sound insulation. So we put in Vitus Promutech, and it's 45 mil thick, 45 mil thick, and it's got double layer with a nice rubber insulator in it as well. So even just talking in here now, there's less echo. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the engine sounds like with the doors on and everything. But basically now the plan is I'm servicing the engine, putting new oil in it and stuff. I need to tidy up some of the hosing and change out some of the hosing. And then obviously we have a nice new air filter and things like that. So the plan is to get the engine all serviced, get the gearbox serviced, bolt the engine back in and line it up. And then tip away, get the engine running. And then when I know that it's running okay, I can start changing hoses and things like that. So, without much further shite talking, I'm gonna keep going. So, today marks the 5th week since we hauled out, and tomorrow marks the end of it because we're going back in the water, thank God. Now, to be fair, the last 5 weeks hasn't been that difficult. It's been a bit more difficult because I don't have access to a shower properly, and I have to borrow, like, go to my mate's houses to shower, and it's just been a little bit more difficult to live on the boat, but we managed it. And 5 weeks later, with the decks are completely done now with paint. We've nice cockpit seats in there. We've got the new engine going at all. Well, not the new engine, but the engine has been refreshed. I just test around the engine. It runs perfectly. Yeah, now is kind of the end of that phase of the project. Niamh's moving in soon, and things are just going to start accelerating. So, let's launch the boat. So we're just in Sandy Cove and we're about to weigh anchor and head off to a little harbour called Glandore. So yeah, I won't bore you with the details, but let's get the anchor up and get sailing. So you can see here that I'm lifting the anchor up slowly. So I'm just pulling in a bit, letting the boat take up the slack, pulling in a bit. Otherwise you're pulling against the anchor and you're trying to pull the boat onto the anchor when it's just going to do it itself anyway. Okay, you can start heading off that way. Wait a sec. So we are in Glandore, which is a really nice village down in West Cork. So I grew up around 20 minutes from here in Trimaleague. So there's Union Hall over here. So it's a pretty big fishing village actually. There's a huge amount of trawlers that spend their evenings, and whenever they're not out fishing, they spend their time there and they land a lot of catches there. So yeah, I mean, we woke up in a bit of a paradise this morning. It's super calm. We're on a mooring, picked up the mooring last night, so thanks for that, lads. Tim and the lads from the sailing club in Glandore helped me out, because we were really tired after coming in, because we had about a 6-hour motor against a pretty big swell, because the wind was on the nose, so we just kept pounding through that, so we were pretty tired. So lads, thanks for that. So today I think we're going to take a rest day and do some walking. The solar panels actually have been working really well. So we put the fridge in. It's just a little Dometic fridge, and the 2 solar panels are actually dealing with that really well. And yeah, the boat's a little bit dirty and salty and everything, but that's what she's meant to be. The helm station was absolutely fantastic. I'm really happy with it. The chart table gave us everything we need, or the chart plotter gave us everything we needed on the tablet. The charger worked really well. The helm feels really solid now. The doors are amazing. The boat's nearly there. Check this out. I mean, where would you get that? Super calm, one of the most beautiful places in the world, and we're just chilling. I love it. So one of the interesting things for me over the next while is how I'm going to take this channel from a building channel slowly progressing into a sailing channel, because that's where we're going with the whole thing, obviously. So bear with me while I find my rhythm. I think we should rest today and plan for tomorrow, and we'll take you with us. uncomfortable or anything, is it?